There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Now you should be able to see my screen. So we're going to go over to the one pair data and we're going to take a look at how everything's doing. I know that I saw there were some possible new losses this week, different things that might have occurred. So let's just take a look and see what is going on here and take a peek into the market conditions and what's going on. One thing I do know I saw on one of the individual accounts we're going to look at, I don't see the FX book for it here, is NZD CAD did hit a stop loss this week. I did see that. And we are going to be adjusting the entries by +2 on NZD CAD. We're going to be increasing NZD CAD by +2. Apparently it's right here up. Yep, we can see it. There is that L. That has been happening. NZD CAD, yep, here it is. We can see that NZD CAD has reached a high amount of drawdown. It went from performing really good last June to now. I mean, not exciting, nothing aggressive, of course. In a year, it was only up 35% and then lost all the profit. So NZD CAD as a pair is actually going to move into what we consider our worst performers category. It wasn't anything that was extremely exciting. It did pretty well in the beginning of 2021, and then you didn't see much action out of it again until February. And again, it was very small profits, and then followed by some big trending losses. So due to this, we will bump up the entries by +2, but because the drawdown did exceed over 65% on swing settings, again, we will consider it a worst performer, as that is what we do with the worst performing pairs. We throw them in that category. Other than that, the JPY pairs have been there. So the only real update on these is that NZD CAD will be moving into a worst performer and getting its entries moved up by +2, as it did breach a good period of drawdown. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on and get into the actual VPSs themselves so that we can actually take a look at what is going on. So number one, we're going to go over here to CloudTrader 1, and you can see here's NZD CAD. It obviously has got a high drawdown and it had lost money, so we know that we're going to stop running it. Looking at GBP CHF, we are at about 7% drawdown. And floating on GBP CHF, let's go over to the next VPS here. Alright, looking at CloudTrader 2 here, we see that we have AUD JPY open point 11% floating. We can see that we have USD JPY working on making back some losses, but it is currently hit some stop losses again, it looks like. That's why we added to the worst performers. It once again had made some money back, and then it railed some stop losses again. Look at that. You know, so we can't get a break with these JPY pairs. As we know, we avoid them. Previous history, as you saw, was AUD USD, but we moved this account over. AUD CHF is in floating profit, 1.66%. AUD JPY and AUD NZD are in some trade setups, but no astronomical profit. Let's keep moving over. Going over Cloud Trader 3, we have no action on CAD JPY. CHF JPY, that account we have not refunded because we don't care anymore. CAD CHF up 9% on the week. So CAD CHF put a home run in here on one of these accounts this week and produced some profit. We can see USD CHF is in some drawdown, and AUD USD has no open trades. Continuing on, Euro USD, no action this week. Euro CHF, we have a 38% drawdown. As always, we've kind of always said to avoid CHF and JPY pairs. They're not the best. CAD pairs are second questionable, but you got to have some pairs to trade. Euro CAD, after being added as a worst performer, it made back some money this week, as you can see on the small account. Euro JPY is up 7% on the week, but again, these pairs were pairs that had railed stop losses. The profit they're making now is simply just making back losses that were already occurred, so it's not very impressive looking at some of these JPY pairs in that scenario. Euro AUD, no action. Continuing into Cloud Trader 5, GBP AUD has no action this week. GBP CAD, no action this week. GBP JPY, no action this week. GBP NZD with no action this week. GBP USD with 2.37%. We got some action on GBP USD this week. It continues to be a best performing pair. NZD USD, alright, we can see he has no action this week. USD CAD with 5% this week. USD CAD continues to be a best performing pair consistently. We have seen that. It has performed time and time again. For some reason, Cloud Trader 7 is not allowing us to make it full screen, so we'll have to manually do it. Euro GBP, we can see no action this week. NZD CHF, no action this week. And NZD JPY, no action this week over there. AUD CAD with no action on the week. And Euro NZD has us in 26% drawdown. If this account had been withdrawn from, this drawdown would be considered in the 50% range. So what does that tell me? Let's take a look at what comment we entered here on. Okay, we entered in level 2. We've already increased the entries on Euro NZD, so we do not need to increase them again. This account just needs its entries increased, so those will be optimized and adapted for the latest entries to solve that. But in the meantime, please note that a normal Euro NZD account would actually be seeing better results, as we are not entering close to that soon anymore on Euro NZD. No more level 2 entries, so we'd be skipping about half of that. So Euro NZD is perfectly fine on the settings it is in. And with that being said, let me come back over here to the chat and see what we have going on. I do not see much going on here in the chat. So please note, we are going to make an update to the manager to increase entries on NZD CAD. There are some things we're going to be doing to continue to enhance the pairs list and optimizations. There are many new features still on the way and in testing. Please give us time, as we like to thoroughly test all new features before we give them to you, as we do not want any hiccups in the programming or the code. We are very big on that, so please know we will not be releasing anything without it being properly tested and vetted first. And with that being said, let's take a look at the news for the upcoming week ahead. But first, let's go over here and look at our GearBox large account. As a reminder, GearBox is now running on a large $1 million plus account. Here have been the results so far, and I'll continue to update these results on those weekly calls. In June, we did 12%. It was pretty insane. Had an 8% month in April, very slow month in May. But as you see, GearBox is crushing it on a large million account, and has won 80% of all the trades it has taken. So let's take a look at the week ahead. We're going to come over here to Forex Factory, and let's get right into it. All right. Oops. We need the 16th through the 23rd. Okay. So this upcoming week, here is our red folder news we have. On Monday, we have monetary policy meeting minutes for AUD. On Sunday, we have a CPI rate as the market opens, which means that NZD might have a big move, hopefully, because some of us are in some NZD CAD drawdown. So let's go New Zealand dollar. GBP has a news event on Tuesday. As well, AUD, GBP, CAD, JPY, Euro. Every pair has got some red folders this week. So keep in mind it may be a little bit volatile of a week. There's a good amount of red folders we see on the screen. So I would be on the conservative side for those of my customers who are trading and killing it. Definitely be on your conservative side this week. And if you feel you need to move some stop losses or do whatever it is to feel comfortable, practice conservativeness and understand that we are in crazy market conditions with recessions being, hit here in U.S. on economical marks. The global world is in a situation right now, so just practice conservatism. I'm not saying that GearBox won't continue to work. It will, but it works the more conservative you are, especially in times of volatility. So with that being said, I hope you all are crushing it and having a wonderful time with everything you have going on. And yeah, I see one comment real quick. You can share the settings for the $1 million account. I'm running Sniper. I'm running 0.01 per $3,000, 3 max pairs, and correlation on, yes. And that's it. That is it, folks. That is the settings I'm running on the $1 million account. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend ahead, and look forward and tuned for some new GearBox updates to follow in the very near future. We're getting very close on some of these new features, so I'm super excited to finally be able to release some new stuff to you guys. Just always making sure we properly test and vet things. But with that being said, appreciate every single one of you tuning in live with us, and hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend wherever you may be in the world.